Everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday evening. Good to see some numbers here, although the videos are not on. I'm just going to be talking to a blank screen as usual, but thank you very much for joining in and giving me an opportunity to talk about topics that I'm very passionate about. Just a small clarification. I am now the founder of Sarvam School, Sarvam Organization, Sarvam Educational Foundation, and I am uh, the lead teacher, head of the school, everything at Sarvam. We have Rose, our PRN, who's been coordinating all of this for Sarvam. Thank you very much, Rose ma'am. So without much further ado, I think we will begin. Let me start by sharing screen. Thank you so much, Usha Sharma. Good evening to you too. Thank you. I think everybody is able to see my screen. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So let's begin at the beginning. We're all in here for something, anything and everything related to education. We want to know and talk more about or read more about anything that can enhance our skills as teachers or enable as parents to make education better for our children. So I think even before learning any techniques or learning how to impart education, we must understand one very important thing. We need to understand what is education. Okay, so I think for a normal human being right now, um, an education is a degree, a certification, or a qualification from a certified institution involved in teaching of one or various subjects. So, like we all take, we specialize in one subject or we may specialize in many subjects. Education enables humans to move from one level to the next and to sustain a living, a means to make oneself financially stable for himself, herself, or the family. That's what education does. You get it written on paper that you are certified by way of this degree or this training that you have received to go on and do whatever it is you can to earn a living for yourself. I think we all agree on that. That is education. What is the purpose of education? Purpose of education is to promote meaningful creation by enhancing the ability to create or be creative and to continue the process of evolution. Ha! Can anybody tell me what I mean by this? I want this to be an interactive session, so I encourage people to switch on their videos so we can see each other and just have some fun for the next 40 minutes. I'm saying that education, the purpose of education is to increase creativity and to continue the process of evolution. No one wants to be a part of the discussion. Everybody just wants to listen. There you go. The first and foremost thing that education is supposed to do is just gone. And we're a bunch of teachers here. We're all parents here, and we just do not want to engage. And when we don't want to engage, right there we have just crossed off the first goal of a teacher, to be present. So I'll go on anyway. Thank you so much. So when I say creativity, the purpose of evolution is to continue the process of creation. We create every day as teachers. We make something as teachers every day. We make leaders. We make, we turn little humans into adults who will take responsibility of this planet and who will go on to imbibe whatever we are trying to imbibe to them: values, moral science, mathematics, business studies. All of that, take all of that, pass it on to the next generations. Now, if we're not going to be creative and we're not going to, come up with creative ways to impart all of this, I don't think the purpose of education is sorted or solved. So, this is what I mean when I say that the purpose of education is to continue the process of creation and thereby contribute to evolution. So, evolution is something that's never going to stop. We're always going to evolve. We're always going to evolve. We've evolved since the time we were born. So for the last 44 years, I've been evolving. And here I am today, this evolved person who's talking to all of you. And each one of you has had your share of evolution. And here you are today sitting here. So the process of education should be to contribute to that, to see to it that as you evolve, you are adding something meaningful by way of enhancing creativity, not just for yourself, but for people around you and the children that you serve, be it a parent or be it a teacher. So I'm going to continue sharing.
Yes.
I hope you're able to see,
Yeah.
because Google's a bit funny when I share. I just can't see any of you, and I just have to look at my screen and smile at my screen and be creative, thinking that all of you are looking at me, and So the goal of an education system, like I said, is to promote harmonious living and sustainability of the planet, and continue to build a group of humanitarian leaders for ensuring that our planet is a safe haven for all living beings. So this is what education has to do. We just keep passing on knowledge from one generation to another. Now, Isaac Asimov quotes, "There are no nations, there is only humanity." And if we don't come to understand that right soon, there will be no nations because there will be no humanity. So, what is humanity then? Humanity is a collection of qualities that make us humane. And what are human qualities? The ability to show and exhibit love, tolerance, compassion, kindness, and gratitude towards ourselves and fellow humans. Is there a way that I can actually look at you all on Google and do this? Um, um, can can Aisha, is there a way that I can do that?
I don't think there is a simple answer for that. I think
So I'll have to keep toggling between this. Okay, no
I
problem.
think that's the
Okay,
easiest.
that's okay. Yeah. So my last slide was about what is humanity. So all of us in the progressive era, where we call ourselves, working for progressive schools or imparting education that is progressive, talking about progressive methods, and parents who take admissions into schools which are progressive, the kind of schools that we run, that I had. We talk about First, we talk about humanity these days, and we talk about, how by imparting education that is holistic, we're actually increasing humanity or qualities of humanity. But that's why I got this quote from Isaac Asimov and put together an understanding of what is humanity. Humanity is a collection of qualities or values. So even before we move into anything else, into the techniques of education, imparting education, the classroom teaching, we first have to look at ourselves, the people who handhold these children, the parents who handhold the children, and understand what is humanity and put it into our system. That this is humanity. So if I'm going to talk about teaching humanity to children, and I'm going to pick up, I'm going to teach a class of children humanitarian qualities, then I should always be focused on the fact that humanity is the teaching of values first, before you even go on to teach the subjects. And that is why it is so important to understand what is humanity. And then, therefore, if we say that we're imparting education that is humanitarian based, or where we're trying to bring in children who will take care of the planet, then we go back to Isaac Asimov and understand that we're all just people. We're a bunch of people together in this whole wide world. So there are no nations, there's just one culture, and that is the culture of being humane. Going back to sharing the screen. So what are the components of an education system? I think we all are very clear with this, all of us here. Components of an education system are the culture of a society or the community that the school is located in. So the school where the community is located in imbibes the culture of the particular society where it's located. The school management, the parents, teachers, and students. I'm not going to be, focusing more on school management and culture and society and community and all of that. We're just going to be focusing on practicals. Okay. So with all of these people in the system, with all of these components in the system, we all know that there was a pandemic, and during the pandemic, the components of these systems were in charge of the children, the society, the community at large, people representing the community, associations, the government, the health specialists, the psychologists, the doctors, all of those, the school management, the parents, the teachers, and the students themselves. Yet there was so much that went haywire. So if we had really focused on what the goal of education was, which is to impart holistic education and keep humanity intact, and bring in humanitarian, bring up children in a humanitarian way, clearly something went wrong. And what went wrong was we ourselves do not have an understanding of what that concept is. So what happened to children during the pandemic? We all know. Let's just go through these points. There was less movement. There was a sedentary lifestyle. The food habits changed. There was a routine change. I mean, everything was upside down. Children were allowed to wake up at any time, eat at any time, and do things at any time. This is just people at large. From my understanding of having talked to a large group of parents who just gave in because they also had their work. There was too much exposure to radiation because of gadgets. Children were socially isolated. Too many adults around the children, grandparents, parents, relatives, and there was instant gratification. So keeping all of these things in mind, let's just go back for a minute to these things. What happened during the pandemic? Children were isolated. They were handed over to a group of adults. These adults were grandparents, or these adults were maybe nannies, helpers, caretakers of any other from any other background. And then there were parents themselves who were, most parents these days are either working, or even mothers these days have become very busy with their household chores, because there's so much going on even in a household where there's just one child. So during the pandemic, the entire family living in a house together, not to say with grandparents and all of that, the child was just exposed to adults. Now, when there are 5 adults, 4 to 5 adults in a house, or even 2 adults, what happens? Nothing happens. Most of the time, there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of, energy in the air or in the environment that is very adult. It is not child-centric energy. child-centric energy is a real live classroom where the child is in the middle of all the other children. That is live, energy from where the child picks up and builds a personality that then turns into an energy, which is supposed to be, which goes on to become an adult. So, with all of these combined energies in the real scenario, we're still flawed in our education system. So imagine children having grown up for 2 years with just adults without any other children. So the most important thing that went wrong during the pandemic was communication, language skills, and not to forget the ability to copy. The ability to copy. Children learn by copying. What have they seen for them to copy? I mean, that only parents and adults can answer. So there was no conscious effort made to take care of this skill that children actually use to enhance themselves and to progress in that very important stage of 0 to 7 years. If they have missed out that 0 to 7 years, and if there are conditions, then we have intervention strategies. So we make sure that by grade 5, all of these things are put in place. Now, for the last 2 years, 2.5 years, or whatever, children were deprived of this. They were put into chunks of adult energy. Yes, I mean, I'm not going to say that all parents have the same kind of energy, but still, even for the most energetic parent, even for the parent that is very childish, there is a limitation. Children look at other children, they look at other children running, and then they start running. A child who is hesitating to run or who hesitates to run looks at other children and runs. A child who hesitates to speak looks at other children and learns to speak. But here we are having children in a very closed environment. And then there are adults raining down on the children because adults expect perfection from the very beginning from a child. You all understand what I'm talking about. This is psychology. I don't have to go into this in detail. But what the pandemic then did is, because children have their own way and they have to move around and they have to do this and they have to do that, and they can't be restricted too much because education has become progressive. We are doing very good in our preschools. We do expose our children to a lot of physical activities. Parents have not, done this. Now, for them, a moving child is like, where are you moving? You can't move. So here, take this, sit in one place and don't move around. Instant gratification. We all know as teachers how to handle all of these things in a classroom. But in the last 2 years, parents have been handling their children. And so the last 2 years, there are many things that have gone wrong for these children. They have been taught or they have been, encouraged to get anything by way of tantrums or by instant gratification. So in order for the parent to get something done, solution is take this, leave me alone so I can do my work. I'm not blaming parents here. If there are any parents in the group, I myself am a parent of a 15-year-old, and having worked online for so many days, almost 2 years, it was even difficult for me. So even I given into whatever my child would come and demand, the 15-year-old would demand, not even knowing or understanding sometimes the impact of a yes or a no that I'm saying because I'm in the middle of work. And I'm like, okay, just go, get it done, whatever, because I want to get back to my screen. So I haven't taken care of that. Now, after some time, after I shut the screen down and I have gone back to my child, I am not going to be able to correct it because my child is going to be like, you are the one who said yes. You are the one who okayed it. So everything's just gone haywire emotionally there. So I hope you understand, why I'm discussing this in detail. What went wrong during the pandemic? There's so much I can talk about little things that have gone wrong and that have had an impact on the child. But we're short of time. We will just continue. I will just go back to the screen for a bit again. So less movement encouraged a sedentary lifestyle, food habits encouraged a sedentary lifestyle. Socially isolated children have no idea about how to socially move around right now. Um, so I would like to share at this moment, maybe I will send this out to Ayesha and she can share it with all of you. So what did all of these things do? There are some research papers available or research studies with results available, and we have picked up two of these. So there is a study that showed the impact of how children who had one-on-one education, who still had tutors coming over by the grace of the universe, somehow if they have had one-on-ones happening at home, the impact or the effects or the negative effects have been lesser compared to the children who had most of their education in the last 2 years online. So there's the study there. There's the link for that. UNICEF has done a study on in India itself, in our own country, and they've come up with the results. So there is a study available from UNICEF. I have the link here. I'll share it later. You can have a look at it and you will be able to understand what I'm talking about. So let's go on and see what all of these things did to the children. All of these things, the food habits going wrong, the routine going wrong, instant gratification, too many adults around, coping skills not being encouraged. What has all of that done to children? At the physical level, gross and fine motor skills have reduced drastically. They have strained eyes. Body posture is all over the place. So we have children not able to sit in the classroom. Overall health has gone down. Immunity, we're all seeing so much absenteeism all the time. Immunity has gone down drastically. And children don't know how to use their hands and legs, unfortunately, like I said before, because of the coping skills not in place, they don't understand how to use their body parts. At the mental level, there has been a sensory overload, either because of using too many toys, looking at the TV for too long, having a gadget, or some of us parents who think that, okay, no TV, no TV, no gadgets, no toys. We've only been giving them books even during the pandemic. Even in that case, there is a sensory overload. All of this has resulted in a lot of anxiety in the children. At the emotional level, all of this has caused the child to become moody, insecure. There's a lack of interest in the classroom. There's a lack of interest to do group activities, and there is this word tantrum, which I don't like to use, but there are a lot of tantrums. At the spiritual level, they have no idea or clue about what is sharing, what is caring, and what is respecting the need of, forget the adult in the room. There is a lack of understanding of the needs of even their peers. So we can imagine, if you break it down at these four levels, and if you actually start categorizing, you will still be able to get a lot more. Impact of the pandemic on adults handling children. We have three groups of children, main groups of children that handle, main groups of people that handle these children. They are teachers, parents, and helpers. So with teachers and parents itself, we have a lot on our hands, coping skills that they have to learn. So for the moment, we will just forget the helpers right now. Teachers and parents are struggling with uncertainties of economics and child behavior. Economics, the finances have taken a toll on many families in the last 2 years. And so most of them just want to select schools that can meet their financial status. And child behavior, they have no clue how to correct this. So what has happened is this has increased stress, and stress levels have reduced the physical abilities of parents and teachers. So when I say parents and teachers, stress has reduced the abilities of parents and physical abilities of parents and teachers. I'm sure all of you agree. Most teachers that are here, even I myself feel that, in spite of having been physically active for the last 2 years, and having prepared myself consciously understanding that my physical energy is going to be very important once I get back into the classroom after the pandemic. I am still gasping sometimes. Just like after 20 minutes of talking, I'm sure all of you feel that. How many of you feel that? You can just raise your hand if you feel that. Totally, totally. So we, to such an extent that we don't even have the energy to, think, yes, totally agree. So in spite of having had that in the background somewhere in my mind that I will need my, physical energy, after going into the real time classroom, I'm like, oh my God, this is like just off. I need to do more work to actually cope with the problems that are existing in the classroom. So stress actually took away, or stress actually reduced our own physical abilities, the parents and the teachers. So I hope so far everybody agrees or disagrees, whatever, but has understood what I am giving you in an order, what I'm talking about in an order of things. Here we are giving a particular type of education, which is called holistic education in today's world. And here we are, ourselves not imbibing those values that are needed to impart holistic in education, including me in many areas. And then here we are after the pandemic, without energy, both parents and teachers, having a bunch of children with us who need a lot of energy at this time. So this is the scenario. This is the environment in terms of people, in terms of human resources that we are having. Not to mention other human resources problems. Many teachers have, many of the good teachers, many of the bestest of the teachers have realized or have changed their stream of education or stream of the way they want to teach, the way they want to impart education. So hail online education, some of the best teachers have actually moved from physical face-to-face teaching to online teaching, and then we have to hire and rehire teachers all the time. Or teachers themselves are having immunity issues, or they have still not relocated back to wherever they were from and where they are right now. All of that is still a problem. I mean, I really don't know how long it's going to take for all of this to settle down. So we're all working either with people who are overqualified or with people who are underqualified to deal with the children of the age range of, especially 2 years to 10 years. This is a big problem. I'm sure all of you will agree with this also, that we are having a lacunae in terms of each team member being very different, in each team member coming from a different background, with all of those things that I spoke about before: the language barrier, the the communication barrier, the lack of knowledge in terms of how to deal with a child. So because uh, there is a lack of resources, schools have had to or have been forced to hire uh, teachers who are inexperienced. I mean, there's no other go. We need to put somebody there with the children in the classroom, and in the hope of believing or thinking that on the job training is going to work, we take in freshers, but then it's only after 2 or 3 months. So this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem for new teachers, because your seniors are going to be very oh my God, this is not done, you don't know this, you got to go up on this, you got to put your all of that. And the seniors are going to be bugged or are going to be annoyed, because you have to work with freshers who don't know much. And then the cycle keeps repeating, and we are all wondering, when am I actually going to be relieved of all of this? So with all of these feelings and with all of this in our system, the stress levels have increased even for the teachers. Going back to So let's just quickly, if there are any parents here, we will just quickly cover a few things that the parents can do, just to decrease your stress levels. Do not compare. Please do not compare. That's not going to take you anywhere. Every child, according to me, one is an apple, one is an orange. Sorry to say that, but it is like that in the classroom. So I can't compare an apple to an orange, and parents, please understand it. Do not involve too much at the moment after the pandemic into assessing your child, getting results, or or into the daily routine that is coming from the school. Avoid as much as possible if you can. The best thing that you can do is show respect to your child, have confidence in your child, and exhibit it at the home level, or at the before you hand over the child to us teachers. This is very important, respecting and having confidence in your child. So what we have noticed, I'm sure again many of you will agree to this if parents are there, because the children have been with you for so long, you have resolved to nitpicking on everything. Even the way the child walks, or the way the child is picking up their water bottle, or saying bye to the teacher, or eye contact with the teacher, or parents are like, come on, look into the eye, say bye, smile, look straight, stand straight. We don't have to focus on all of this right now. This is not our focus. Please understand this, parents. As a teacher of the kindergarten space as well, I'm telling you, this is not important right now. Trust your school, trust the teachers. This will do magic. Because the minute parents show a little bit of distrust, or you start exhibiting that in your body language, not many teachers are equipped. Please understand that teachers are also coming out from a stressful situation, from a stressful environment. They've had their family at home, they've had their in-laws at home, they've had to do everything at home. And it was a tiring experience for most of us teachers. I think 99% of us. So when you drop your children off to school, when you come for PTMs, if you are going to show a lack of trust in us, the slightest of that is again going to increase stress level for teachers. And we do not want to have stressed teachers in school. So please trust your school, trust the teachers, create an environment of fun and love. Make everything right now, because we're getting out. Make it about fun and make it about love. Just show your child how much fun you can have together, and pour out the love right now. You will see a marked difference in the way the child's academic progress, or the motor skills progress will be. Learn and use the same methods that the school applies. Please avoid trying to tell the teacher what to do. We're all coming from a background where we're all different. So parents come from a different background, teachers come from a different background, the management comes from a different background. But all of us, at the end of the day, want to do the same thing. We want the best for the child. So just for some time, step back, and wait. Wait it out. Be patient. If anything, the pandemic should have taught you to be patient, teachers and parents, and including me. The pandemic should have taught us to be patient with each other. And so trust your teachers, take a step back, and wait. You will see results by the end of the year. I can tell you that. So that's for parents. I don't want to go on talking too much about what parents should be doing, because each parent has a different way of parenting. You have your parenting style, and all due respect to that, because you want the best for your child, and you're anxious because you see your child, you compare your child to another child. So all the best there. Let's get to teachers. Strategies in the classroom for teachers. Okay, teachers, know your responsibility first. You are building a nation. You are building a nation. So anybody asks you, what do you do? I think you should just not hesitate to say you're building a nation. Why should only politicians have that right? Why should only the government employees have that right? Over and above all of them, I think it is us teachers who are contributing the most in building the nation. So by building nation, what are we building? We're building a culture, and we don't want our culture, the Indian culture, to get eroded. We want it to stay intact, because it is one of the best cultures in the world. So teachers, when you understand that this is what you do, this is your responsibility, you are protecting the Indian culture, and in that, by way of protecting the culture, you are contributing to building the nation, a nation which we're very proud of. I'm very proud to have been born in India and, having started my career here in India, teaching children in India. Look at each child individually and personally for at least the next 2 years, rather than looking at them in the cluster and, saying that, okay, 3-year-old is supposed to do this, 5-year-old is supposed to do this, 7-year-old is supposed to do that. Do not look at the child's age for some time, at least for the next 1 year, I suggest. Don't look at the child's age. Let's just forget the age of the child for the next few months, because we are just out of a pandemic, and let's start clean the board and just say, okay, I don't know what your age is. I can see that you can do this. You just need to do that. So the age should only be a guideline. In a large classroom of 25 to 30 children, make a list, observe 10 children for a week, for 3 weeks. So you're done observing your 30 children. And then after that, for the next 2 weeks, arrive at the individual levels and make notes for each of the goals that your coordinator has given you. So grade 1, this is the goal. Grade 2, this is the goal. Yeah, yes, you have to keep, grade 1 is 6-year-olds. But forget that for some time. Just forget that the 6-year-old, this is a 6-year-old, and this is going somewhere. Just look at it as a goal. That's all. Just look at it as a goal. Don't look at it as a goal for a 6-year-old. Okay. So what we do is at Sarvam is, because we have a mixed group strategy, we do not see the age of any child. We've just put them together just in the hope that a 3-year-old will watch a 5-year-old, and whatever copying, the copying skills that the child was supposed to achieve by 3 years, because of the pandemic, the child has not achieved it. But by putting the child into an age group of 5 or 6, the child will pick up somewhere. The child will try to do it. The child may skip some steps there, which is okay, but the child will at least start moving around looking at 5-year-old. So that is the reason why I'm telling you, don't look at age right now. If you're able to do this in a mixed age environment, it's excellent. But if you don't have a mixed age environment and your class is only, one age group, forget their age, put it into a corner and start from the scratch. Child is not walking, child is not speaking, child is not doing many things. Make a list of that. Make a list of the strengths of the child. What is the child doing very well? Please do that as well. Categorize all of your data for each child as per the result you want. Compare your goals with current status of each child. So the goal that the child is supposed to achieve at the end of the year, compare it with where the child is at now. Where the child is at now. So if the child is supposed to read at the end of grade 1, where is the child now? Break it down, break it down, break it down, break it down into many, 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 many things. Because the child has missed what the child was supposed to do in UKG. The child has missed what the child was supposed to do in LKG. So you have the LKG goals to cover. You have the UKG goals to cover. But if you look at it over and over again, the data that you have over there, you are going to come up with an idea. Okay, this is what I can do for this child. This is what I can do for this child, because you have covered each child individually and you know their strengths and you know their weaknesses. Work out sub goals for each of the goals. Share the data with any and every teacher involved with the child, so that that teacher also knows, okay, this child is right now at this stage, at this level. Now, if I want to bring the child to the level that I am going to impart, or which is my responsibility, I need to help the other teacher in covering their goal as well. Only then my goal can be covered. So communication between teachers is very, very essential. Most of us have so many ego issues. We do not want to talk to the other teacher. Especially after the pandemic, we are also struggling with our body language. We are also struggling to understand how to talk to another human being. We've become very closed, but try to get out of all that. And for the sake of the child, try to, have this team enthusiasm, have this team spirit. So you can at least, in some way contribute by the end of the year to achieving the goals that we are set out to achieve. Now, in a class of 30, we just cannot leave each child. Please remember, we are into nation building, which means every citizen, every child is going to become a citizen, an adult who is in your hands. who's in your hands right now. So share the data with the parents, involve and educate them. I know most of us are very scared to talk to parents. I'll come to that. We don't have much time. Bring in a completely material free time for every 20 minutes of a class where material has been used. Very important. Very important, because your motor skills, gross motor and fine motor, are not in place. A very, very important way of building that is to just keep the child material free as much as you can after having given material. So 20 minutes of material, take away all material, tell the child, do whatever you want, move around, sit, jump, just be within yourself. Be the age that you are teaching. So if you have to crawl, get on all fours and crawl, so the child will also crawl. If you have to teach, if the child's goal is jumping, even the math teacher should jump. Even the science teacher should jump. Improve your physical health by taking time for yourself. Have fun while working. Organize your personal and professional life. Very, very important. Very important. I'm going to just, once I close the screen, I'm going to come back to that. Create a classroom filled with love and understand that evenness of the mind is very important for you to achieve. So before I get there, I'm just going to stop sharing the screen for a bit and elaborate on this. There's just one man sitting here in front of me. Thank you so much for keeping your video on, sir. Neeraj Raj. Are you a parent or a teacher?
One second. None of those actually. I just work in education sector, so
Okay, wow.
you can call me teachers.
Thank you so much. So going back to that previous slide, where I spoke about, or the slide is talking about, be the age that you are teaching, especially teachers who are in the the 2 to 10 years. Be the age, which means every teacher should jump, should run, should squat, should be doing exactly what those children have to do, because exposure to physical activity for these children just once a week is not enough. Sending them to the PE class just once a week for 40 minutes to the PE teacher is not enough. Motor skills, when the child moves, when muscular activity happens, is when the nervous system grows. So please keep this in mind. I can elaborate on this because I love teaching children with special needs, but you can join in any other training that we take for this area, in understanding how muscular system is responsible for enhancing the academic skills of children. So be the age that you are teaching. The next important thing in that slide is create an environment of love. That's very, very important. Very important. Pandemic, no pandemic, creating an environment of love for the children is the most important thing. That will just heal. That'll heal anyone and everyone. That'll heal yourself. That'll heal your teammates who have gone through a lot during the pandemic. And you will create a vibrant atmosphere wherein every teacher is going to carry that energy with them into the classroom. The energy that you carry into the classroom is very important. For women, there are so many women teachers now, so many women teachers. More responsibility on us, but I am so worried as an educator all the time of the amount of stress and depression that we women have. And then we're carrying that into the classroom. Added to that is the stress that the pandemic has given us, and we're carrying that into the classroom. So we got to understand that in the morning, when we get out of the house, most of us work for 3 hours. Like, I wake up at 5:30 and I go to class at 8:30 or 9 o'clock. I'm already tired because I've already done so many things from 5:30. So it's like almost half a day is done. Where are you going to be showing an environment, or how you're going to create an environment of love? How are you going to have a mind that is even? How are you going to have energy that is even throughout the day after having worked for 3 hours early in the morning and then going into the classroom? But this is the most important thing. This is the most important. Energy levels. And we don't have that energy level. It's not our fault that we don't have the energy level. And that is why organizing your personal and professional life is very important as a teacher. So you see the points, they They just make sense in an order if you look at them. Now, creating an environment of love depends on evenness of the mind. How do you create evenness of the mind in yourself for creativity to flow in class? Dun, dun, dun. Can anybody tell me that? What is the answer to that?
Praying,
Yes, praying.
or
True.
maybe wishing, concentrating our energies to one focal point, concentrating on the work in hand
Yes,
rather than thinking of about the things that we could have done in that particular time.
totally. All of these are, I agree with. And all of these, this is one thing that I am very, very proud of that the Indian government is doing. So I stopped at
Yeah.
evenness of the mind is very important for all the above. And what brings
You,
evenness of the mind? Yoga brings evenness of the mind. Yoga brings evenness of the mind. And I am so happy that the government is encouraging this and trying to, put this into the curriculum now. In the NEP, yoga education has become compulsory, but Sarvam is an organization that has always given importance to yoga from day one. So, yoga education removes barriers, cultural, communication, and human resource barriers. Very important for women. Why and how? Because yoga promotes a more relaxed, comfortable state of being and a harmonious environment for teaching and learning. Yoga also helps to create an atmosphere of confidence, enthusiasm, and non competitiveness, which is what we need right now. That is the need of the hour, where everyone can succeed and hence everyone can learn at their own pace and within their own individual space. Okay. Yoga promotes health at all levels. Health is the basis for all aspects of life for children as well as human beings that contribute to the development and education of children. Good health and wellness can be achieved through enlivening consciousness. Now, I know it's too early or too short, too late for me to mention the word consciousness because I don't want to get into it in an elaborate manner. But those of you who are interested, please Google consciousness based education and you will understand what I'm talking about. At Sarvam, we talk about consciousness focused education. So Maharishi Mahesh Yogi had started this movement about consciousness based education, where he talks about the unlimited potential of the brain and how you can actually remove all the clutter and focus on the potential of the brain. According to him, enlivening consciousness enlivens all the laws of nature in the awareness of the student and spontaneously gives him or her the ability to think and act according to natural law so that his thought, speech, action will always be in the evolutionary direction. We have already come to a conclusion why evolution is important. So, as we enliven consciousness, we increase the potential of the brain, and as we increase the potential of the brain, creativity increases. As creativity increases, the quality of parenting, teaching, and school management systems increase. And as all of these factors improve, humans become more humane and we start transcending towards the true purpose of humanity, which is to take care of each other, to love and respect each other, and to pass on this most important quality, which is love beyond everything, so that children will learn. Children only learn in an environment which is filled with love. And post pandemic, we have forgotten how to create this environment. So we need to recreate that. The one way with which you can recreate is yoga, and yoga has all of it. Deepa ma'am, it has meditation, it has prayer, it has the physical asanas in it. So for those of you who are wondering what yoga has, it has everything. It has everything in it. It has physical activity. It has everything that works at the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level. So all of that energy that you need is going to be there for you. It's going to be abundant. You're going to have more energy once you realize that this is one way with which you can step into the classroom, even after having worked for 3 to 4 hours early in the morning. It happens to me. Just 15 to 20 minutes, either of meditation or of asanas, and then I step into the classroom. I have the energy for the entire day. I have seen this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if there are more gentlemen here. I'm hoping there are. um, I hope this session was, useful, and I hope I have added or contributed in some way. But thank you very much for listening to me and having given me an opportunity to speak. So, this is how, in the new age world, I think we should move forward, and we should be proud of the fact that the other countries are also adopting this. We have, many schools in Germany that have adopted chanting, which is one of the activities that is covered in yoga as well. And they use that to calm the children down. The teachers use that to calm their energy down, and then they step into the classroom. So, when as a teacher, if you are into yoga and you understand what it can do for you at the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level, believe me, you will have tremendous mental capacity to handle parents as well. We need to help parents. We can't keep them aside and we can't be scared of them. We need to come into this understanding that we all have to work together in the future, because hybrid learning is going to take over. And as an educationist, I am accepting it. We're all doing hybrid model here. Monday to Friday, face to face. And on a Saturday, we are here um, trying to learn from each other online. So thank you very much. Namaste. I'd like everybody to join your hands before you log out. If you're all here, please just join your hands for a bit and close your eyes if you're all still here. And keep your eyes just closed for a minute. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the light of love overcome all darkness. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Swati ma'am. Thank you for joining us and giving us an opportunity. The session was really good. We hope we've enjoyed a lot. There's a lot of good, whatever you spoke was really good. And thank you all the participants for joining us today. I guess we can end the session now.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.